My absolute favorite blushes in my collection are the baked blushes from the Kiko Milano Gold Reflections collection that they did for summer 2024. I love those so much. So I was so excited to see that in this Juicy Fizz collection we have more baked blushes. But I just swatched everything and I think I took one for the team. If you have the blushes from last year, I think you want to watch this video. And also if you missed those, I think you really want to watch this video. So let's get into it. Okay, I think we have to start out by talking about these baked blushes. These baked blushes are called the Juicy Fizz Fusion Glow Baked Blush. And these are in this super cute, kind of like see-through orange packaging. It really makes me think of kind of like the jelly shoes that I had when I was a kid. I think this is so fun for summer. We have 3 shades here. First up we have the shade Golden Mocha. And this is a marbled shade, a very glowy, kind of like brown with a sort of rosy undertone to it. Very glowy. This is like a blush liner, but it does have a lot of pigment. This is gonna be great if you kind of want something that's a blush but gives you that bronze look as well. I think this is a really nice shade to have in the summer, but it did make me think a little bit of the shade Radiant Biscuit from the Gold Reflections collection, and I put these next to each other and I swatched these next to each other. I will show you the swatches of last year's blushes and this year's blushes together in a minute, but this looks so similar to the blush from this year and I swatched them together and I think these are basically identical. The one from this year might be a little bit lighter, but they have the same glow, they have the same marble, they both feel very creamy. I'm in a way happy that these came back because these are my favorite blushes in my collection. I'm happy that I can once again recommend them to you, but I kind of feel like this video is mostly to tell you these are back. It's the same thing. Okay, now I'm spoiling this comparison portion of the video, but the blushes from last year are back. I cannot really see much of a difference here and I love it, but I'm also a little sad about it. They didn't bring back all the shades. But yeah, I'm a little sad about it for myself, but I'm happy that I got these to show you, to compare them and to let you know what is going on here. But because I think it's really important, and Kiko themselves wouldn't say, okay, we duped ourselves, they are back. So then we have the next shade of blush from this year, and that is the shade Rosé, a Riviera. And this one, also a really glowy blush. It has a kind of like pink base to it that shifts golden, very much like a blush liner. This one feels very creamy once again, a beautiful shade of kind of like that warmer pink to a gold. It's just so glowy, it's so smooth. The creaminess of this is amazing. But yeah, I did think that this is very similar to the shade Sunkissed Coral from the Gold Reflections collection. This is such a beautiful blush. I have worn this a ton and it's just swatching these next to each other. I think there might be a slight hint of a difference to them. Like one is maybe a little bit darker in the base than the other. But honestly, if you have this one, you don't need the one from this year. I do not think that these are gonna look different on the cheeks. And then lastly, we have the blush that is new. This one didn't exist before. They did bring something new into the mix. And this is a shade 03 Mauve Your Passion. And this is not a marbled shade. This is just one color. And this one feels a little bit more dry to the touch. Still swatches really nicely, really beautifully. But it's a little bit less creamy, a little bit less emollient. And it's also a little bit less glowy. It definitely still has a lot of glow to it. Don't get me wrong, but these other ones are like, okay, that's a blush liner almost if they didn't have as much base to them. But this is more of a satiny, glowy satiny blush. It has a little bit more of a base color to it. It doesn't shift as much to a gold. So if you're into something a little bit less metallic, not that I feel like those blushes from the Gold Reflections line look too metallic on the cheeks, but I do love a glowy blush. This is a little bit more satiny, a little bit more smooth. It looks beautiful when blended out. This is kind of like a Barbie pink, a little bit darker, especially because it doesn't have that shift to a gold than the shade 02. So I didn't have anything to compare this one to. I'm going to be putting all of these on my cheeks to show you the colors, but I'm also going to put up the swatches, the comparisons of the 2024 summer collection and the 2025 summer collection. These are so close. These are definitely so close. So if you missed those, we're gonna see. I'm still gonna put this on my face, of course, but I have a feeling that a lot of people are gonna be really happy that they can get their hands on these, because I feel like those sold out pretty quickly. Like, I raved and raved and raved about them, but they were already sold out. Okay, so I have nothing on my face right now because it's gonna be a little bit easier to apply the blush, remove the blush. And I'm first just gonna focus on the cheek swatches of these blushes before I go into the other products. And we're gonna start out with the shade Golden Mocha. And this is gonna be that most warm toned kind of brown shade. I'm gonna dip in like once and slowly build this up, because these blushes are pretty pigmented. And it does have a really beautiful kind of like bronzy, rosy glow to it. As I said, it's just a gorgeous kind of like bronzer shade. If you just want something quick to give you a bronzy, glowy look, you don't need highlighter, you don't need bronzer. You just take this blush. Like, look at that glow and that bronziness. That is so beautiful. I just feel like this makes my skin look so smooth and healthy. I don't feel like it makes my skin look like textured or weird. This one is definitely a little bit on the warm side for me. But this is of course also something that I could mix in with different things. But I do really like it. It's really, really beautiful. Just look at that shine. Alright, let's build this up a little bit. I'll show you this color a little better. And then I'm also building up the glow. So that is that blush. Keep in mind that I don't have anything underneath now. It might look a little bit different with a foundation or skin tint underneath. I just think this is really beautiful. As you know, there's just no glitter here. It just looks very nice. All right, next shade is gonna be the shade Rosé Riviera. And this is a shade that is a pink to gold. And the brush is clean, so I'm just gonna use the same brush and just dab that on. That is just so beautiful. I love that. It has enough base color to actually be a blush. I feel like with some blush lighters, it's just, where's the base color? I can only use it as a topper, but this is such a good blush on its own. Do you see how glowy it is? This definitely doesn't need a highlighter. It is just so glossy and glowy. I love it so much. But of course, I'm just applying now blushes that I already basically had. So yeah, speaking from experience, that is so nice. So that is the pink to gold. And then lastly, we have the shade 03 Mauve Your Passion. And by the way, I don't think this looks like a mauve at all. This is a very bright pink. I don't know where they got that name. So let's see about this new shade. Okay, this is very pigmented. Very beautiful, but very pigmented. It almost has something a little purpley to it. I love the look of this. I did take quite a bit for my skin tone, but of course now you can see what's going on. That's so nice. I love it. It's a little drier, as I said, but I feel like the glow that it has is still really, really beautiful, and I think it's a really fun color for the summer. I really like that one. I'm happy that this one is the new color. It's so beautiful. It's nice and cool toned. If you love a cool tone shade, a brighter blush, this is so nice. And you can see here you have really that kind of stark highlight as I turn my head. And here it's a little bit more like all one color, a little bit less like a shift to something. This one is really beautiful. I'm really happy with that one. But yeah, the other two don't look like anything new. Okay, I did a little bit of base makeup to be able to continue with the rest of the products. Those I am gonna try with the base underneath. I bought the Juicy Fizz All That Glam Face Stick in shade 01. And this has a sculpting part and a highlighter part to it. They have been doing these for a while now. We've seen a lot of duo sticks. I've had one in the past, but I didn't feel like it was the best thing in the world. But this one did swatch a little bit differently than that one. The bronzer part in this one is quite glowy. It's a little bit on the peachy side almost, and it has a glow to it. And then the highlighter I also thought was really interesting because it's kind of like this white iridescence. And yeah, it looked really beautiful. So I thought, okay, let's try this instead of the baked bronzer that honestly, I don't know why they are coming out with such a dry baked bronzer. They have been doing amazing baked bronzers for years. I have them in my collection. They are smooth, they are soft, they are glowy. And these I could hardly pick up, and it was just so difficult already to swatch. So I didn't really want to risk it because it also is a little bit more of an expensive product. So we're just gonna start out with this bronzer. And as you can see, it's quite a light bronzer. I am fair to light, and this is gonna be pretty like natural on me, I think. So let's see how this blends. I have a good feeling about it. Yeah, that is blending really easily. As I said, it has a little bit of a peachy tone to it. I don't feel like it's really extremely warm toned. It's kind of making me think a little bit of the Buttermilk bronzer that I have from NYX, but maybe a little bit less pinky than that. That is a really nice glow, really nice effect to it. This is really easy to blend out, and I do think that it suits my skin tone. I do like a more subtle bronzer on myself, but if you're deeper than I am, then I would say go a shade up. The shade up did have quite a golden highlight to it, so if you don't want a darker highlight, maybe that wouldn't be for you. I would say check it out in store if you can. Okay, this is really nice. I really liked it. You see still a little bit of the pink of the blush over here. I did my best to take it off and cover that up, but it has left a little bit of a stain. Okay, I really like this bronzer. I'm glad I picked this one up. It's looking really nice. It has a natural glow to it, no shimmer. It just looks really nice and natural and just a little glowy. I'm liking it. I'm liking that a lot. Okay, then before I go into the highlighter, I want to try the blush, the cream blush that I bought. This is a Juicy Fizz Cheeks You Up blush in 01 Cheeks on the Beach. Cheeks You Up blush. But this is in a more like warm yellow packaging. I think it looks really cute, and it has the kind of, this one smells really strong, like a pina colada. Yeah, that smells like a coconut drink. Oh wow. But I kind of like it. I think it's one of my favorite scents that Kiko Milano has done. Like sometimes they go a little bit too heavy on the florals, but this one smells pretty nice. But be aware that this does have a scent to it. But this is a cream formula that feels a little bit more thin. I feel like it's a little thinner than the Emma Roberts one that they just came out with from the duo. But they also have that kind of like almost imprint on it. I kind of feel like this is a little bit more like emollient. So we're gonna see how that is gonna look on the cheeks. I have a feeling this is gonna be pretty pigmented, so I'm gonna do like a pretty careful dip and start out with it. This is also a really bright shade of pink. Ooh, that looks really nice. That looks nice. It does have a natural glow, but nothing too crazy. So if you're not into the super glowy blush lighter baked blushes, this might be for you. I really liked it. It's feeling a little creamy, not sticky, but it might still dry down a little bit. So that is that blush. Still has a little bit of a natural look to it. I think that's really beautiful. I liked it. I liked it. Okay, let's see if we can repeat that. I feel like you only need a little bit. It looks really smooth. It almost has something a little blurring to it. Yeah, I really like this amount of pigmentation because I still feel like I can work with it. I still feel like I can like blend this out on my skin. It's not too much, but I think a lot of people are gonna be able to wear this because it does have pigmentation. That is really, really nice. And yeah, it feels thin. It feels lightweight. And it feels just a little bit creamy. Not a quick dry down. I think you have definitely some time to blend that in. Okay, I think that is really, really cute. It has a little bit more glow. And it almost looks a little bit more sheer, but not really, than the Emma Roberts one. That's how I feel upon first impression. I really, really like this formula. That is looking so good. Like, it's not a blush liner, but it still looks so healthy and glowy. I also don't think that it lifted up my skin tint that I just applied. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with this one so far. Okay, let's apply the highlighter part of this stick. And I'm just gonna do that directly on the cheek. But it's a little bit of a almost stiffer feeling stick. So I don't know if that's gonna be my favorite method of application. It has a little bit of a like glitter in it. I don't feel like that is chunky. I think applying with the finger might be a little bit better. I just feel like that usually concentrates the shimmers a little more. Yeah, that is way better. I love that way more. Okay, definitely apply that with the finger. Then it's really beautiful. It does have quite a lot of shimmer in it. But as you apply it with a finger, I don't feel like that looks weird or chunky or like too much. I still feel like you could wear that in a more natural look. But there is a shimmer, There's definitely a shimmer. It's really beautiful. I don't think that there is a better application method than applying this with a finger. I do really like that. Ooh, I love the mix of that with the blush. It's gorgeous. It's really nice. I don't always love a glittery or shimmery highlight because sometimes they just look kind of chunky and can kind of count the different shimmer particles on the skin, but I don't feel like that with this one. Alright, this one I already know that I love, but I bought another shade. I bought another shade because I just love this formula and I thought the shade looked really nice. So this is the Kiko Milano Juicy Fizz Light Shot Luminizer and I got it in shade 01, and this one is kind of like a golden peach but a little lighter. This is one of the cushion highlighters. They also had cushion highlighters in the Golden Oasis collection. They also have cushion highlighters or cushion blushes in their regular range now. I feel like these are really nice and smooth, glossy looking, easy to work with. I'm a little over the cushion highlighters, but I still buy them from Kiko, especially if they do shades that will suit me, that I think I'm gonna really like. I did want to compare that to the one from the Golden Oasis collection. This was the Golden Oasis Glow Cushion Blush, and this was in shade 01. This one is definitely a little bit more pinky, less peach. I didn't feel like these were similar colors. Okay, so I'm gonna apply a little bit of this on the high points over here and just blend that in with my finger once again. It's just a really nice champagne color, but just a little bit more special. It's not a basic champagne. It does have kind of like almost a rosy peach to it, and yeah, I really like how that is blending in. That's just really nice. And now it's a little bit more subtle. Definitely gives it another look, a different kind of look on that side. I'm just taking what's left on the sponge from swatching it just now. Ooh, I love how that mixes in with that cream blush. Okay, so this is with the cushion highlighter. I think is really beautiful. I love that shade. This is with the stick highlighter. This just makes it a little bit more pinky. It has that iridescence almost to it, a little bit of shimmer. It creates a wet look. This is almost a little bit more like natural, subtle. I did build it up a little bit. Alright, so those are gonna be the cheeks. I'm gonna go off camera and finish my look. So this is gonna be the finished look. And I did apply the Gold Reflections 3D Hydra Gloss to stay a little bit on theme because I didn't buy a lip product from this collection. If you want to know more about my thoughts on this collection as a whole, the things I swatched, I'm gonna be talking about that in my buy or skip video, which will be up on Saturday. So for the products that I tried today, I did not think that any of them were bad quality. I actually think that all of them performed exceptionally well, and I do really love the packaging and I do really love the concept of this collection, and I have really enjoyed it. The blushes, I'm happy that I can at least tell you that those are the same, or that some of them are the same. The cream blush, really beautiful. I think it's a really nice thin blendable formula. The highlighters, the bronzer, I actually really enjoyed this collection. And by the way, we still have, at the point that I'm filming this, a little bit of time left of the Kiko Me days, which means that there's 20% off if you spend more than 40 euros. At least that's what it is in the Netherlands, but I believe there are more countries where this sale is going on. So I think that is a pretty great deal. Alright, I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.